special moment in the pregame ceremonies. The playing of the national anthem as the teams gear up for the tip. Everyone is in their seats here at the Wells Fargo Center as the 76ers look to grab a win here in Philadelphia. Now a chance to check out our starting lineups. And guys, what are we going to be looking for in this one from Noel?
Look at Noel, guys. He's an athletic, bouncy, 6'11" big man with a 7'4" wingspan. No wonder he's been a dynamic shot blocker before he arrived.
Here's Brown. He feeds it to Hawes. Thaddeus Young on the wing. Brown gets a screen from Young. And there's the pass to Hawes.
2 minutes to take over the first quarter.
6 on the shot clock. Here's Turner. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
So last year, nobody was quite sure the role Evan Turner would have. But as the season went on, he played his way into the rotation by earning the trust of his coach. I thought he made some good strides in his game.
David Lee checked in for Golden State. And Turner, the number 2 overall pick back in 2010. Clark, it seemed NBA stardom awaited, but so far, it just hasn't worked that way.
It's still on the horizon for him. You got to remember now, he's only in his 4th year. He's a terrific ball handler, rebounder, 6'7", can play the point forward position for you. The Sixers traded away Iguodala and handed him the reins, and I think sometimes you can do that prematurely. And it'll be interesting to see how Evan steps into that higher expectation role.
Tough play. He had to fight his way all the way to the rim.
And Philadelphia making a change here. Richardson's checked in. The Warriors shooting their first free throw of the evening.
Well, you look at the turnaround last season for Golden State. A lot of it has to do with the steady presence of Jarrett Jackson and Carl Landry off the bench. Both players brought toughness and a level of competitiveness that was maybe missing from the Warriors the year before.
It's Curry with the drive. Pass to Barnes. For the 3. It's rebounded by Big Smooth. The 76ers lead. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to Chicago.
And guys, had their free throw shooting been anywhere near up to par, I think it would have changed everything in that game.
No doubt about it. I mean, there is a carryover effect when you're not having success at the line. It infiltrates other parts of your game.
Curry passes to Brooks. Oh, trying to dunk it home, but drew the foul. It'll go to the line. And for the Warriors, such an impressive turnaround last season, but financial constraints, Clark, make it tricky for them, make it tricky for anybody. Keep teams together.
Well said, but I give the ownership credit for making...
Here's Big Smooth, and he banks in the layup. Big Smooth got his second bucket. I'm not sure you guys had a chance to catch the entire press conference, but what'd you think about his comments after that last game?
It was impressive, Kevin. He talked about letting the fans down, letting his team down. He said he'd be the first one to practice the next morning. He's going to take 1,000 free throws. I've never heard of anybody taking that many, but it just shows how upset he was and how committed he is going forward.
Steve, isn't it nice to hear that kind of commitment to the game? I hope he really follows through with it. I really do. Setting the floor for the Warriors. On the wing, Thompson and Iguodala. They'll get out there with Jermaine O'Neal, and it's Curry in at the 1 spot. A minute and a half gone here in the second quarter. Barnes with it. 11 points for him in that last game against Sacramento. That's good.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividend.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. I mean, with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
Some nice ball movement here by the 76ers. Turner dishes to Carter Williams. Back to Turner. Shot clock at 6. O'Neal comes with the double team. Here's Carter Williams. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
Boy, it was an impressive turnaround for Mark Jackson and the Warriors last season. I mean, his promise of making the playoffs didn't come together in his first season at the controls, but in year 2,
Here's Carter Williams. Allen outside. "36 seconds left here in the second. Shot clock at 5. Big smooth. Offensive rebound. Iguodala outside to the paint. Here's Bazemore. And that misses. That would have put him up.
Pretty good defense there. I mean, that's a shot that he can make, but they really challenged him.
He kicks it to Hall. Passes to Big Smooth. A three-pointer is right on target. Big Smooth got 7. And Bazemore kicks to Iguodala. 1 second left. Anderson with the block. And a tight game here as we end the first half.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Live from 2K Sports, it's the Monday night edition of the Halftime Report. For Philadelphia, they have the lead against Golden State.
It's the Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Here's Thompson. Big Smooth in a 2-guard. He's out there with Brown. Spencer Hawes out there with Evan Turner. That's the group on the floor for Philadelphia. And the foul on Big Smooth. That's foul number 2 for him. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. Lets it go from deep. And there's Stephen Curry on the assist by Thompson. And it's 8 points for Steph Curry.
Well, Curry is a constant threat offensively, Kevin. As soon as he crosses half court, you have to pick him up. He's got unlimited range, but also the shiftiness on the dribble, the ability to create space, get into the paint, and either hit a little floater or find a teammate for a jump shot.
Well, one of the best shooters in the game, Steve. No question about that. The passing ability is there too, but it's his honey sweet stroke that really is his best quality.
And trouble it was for the 76ers against the West, Clark, as you were talking about. They would end up with just a 12-18 record against the conference. And many wondering, Steve, what could have been.
Well, and 12-18 isn't actually that bad considering the state of the roster with the injuries and the new players. So I thought all in all, the 76ers fought hard most of the year, but they just didn't have enough in the tank. Now we get a chance to check out David Lee. Great year for him last year. 5th in rebounding. And he became a real offensive threat. One of the top 15 scorers in the game.
And Steve, you look at his top 5 standing and rebounding. I mean, it underscores just how valuable he was to their team in the low post. I mean, he gave them a real presence down there.
Andrew Bogut checked in for the Warriors. Iguodala comes in for Klay Thompson. And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Gentlemen, Steph Curry set the record for most three-pointers in a season last year. Many of them coming in spectacular fashion. Step backs, one-legged pull-ups, you name it. Coach Mark Jackson said, I don't know who second place is for the best shooter in the world, but he has first place tied up. And guys, before it's all said and done, we could be talking about Curry as the greatest shooter of all time.
That's right, Doris. Thanks. Playz sets a screen for Curry. Dishes it to Lee. Young with the steal. Feeds it to Richardson. Young outside. Kicks to Carter Williams. On the wing, Jason Richardson. No good with the triple.
They've been able to get out to this lead without really getting a very reliable performance out of him from the field.
Stolen away. Here's Young, and he jams it with authority.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Outside Curry. 6 to shoot. Unloads. Good. He hits the jump shot. Curry's got 12 in the game. Philadelphia leading by 5 and stolen by Barnes. Up top, Curry. They get it back. Back to Iguodala. Cuts off the pass. Here's Big Smooth. Misses. And that's it for the third quarter. Both teams scoring well as we head to the...
Want to be a part of the action? Then come out to a 76ers game and catch all the excitement live. Big Smooth is ready to give his best, so get your tickets now. Come out and welcome our sensational new rookie.
And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter, and if it's anything like the first three, we should be in for a treat. In a moment here to take a look at some hustle stats for the 76ers.
Now we've seen them make...
Basket here, and this game may be all over.
Now, main priority now has to be take care of the ball and use up some clock.
So for the Golden State Warriors right now, David Lee is out there with Jermaine O'Neal, and it's Marshawn Brooks, and there's Klay Thompson, and Spates in at the three.
And I think this is going to be too much to overcome, Clark. What do you think?
All the sand in the hourglass is gone, and I agree with you.
Golden State's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Outside Curry. So we see the Warriors get the win here. They came, they saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a good win.
And that'll wrap it up for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr.
That was a tough loss for you guys tonight. You kept it close, but just weren't able to get the job done. Is there anything that you think could have made a difference in the outcome?
Now that's a tough question to answer. The obvious things are free throws and hitting the boards harder. We make a few more from the stripe, grab a couple extra rebounds, and suddenly this game is even at the end instead of us being down by a few. And at that point, it's anybody's to win. I can promise you Coach will bring this up too, man. Whenever we lose a close game like this, it always comes back to the fundamentals, and we end up spending at least the next practice working on the basics. So don't be surprised to see us shooting free throws and doing box out drills tomorrow morning, man.